Alright, hey guys, I am making a little tutorial on how to configure and use Healbot. I'm not going to go through the process of deleting the WTF folder and re-downloading it just because I'm lazy and I have everything how I want it. But I will go through some quick configuration settings. So there's obviously there's basic settings here, minimap button, hide the options button, which I usually do, and I also do right click, so you just right click anywhere and it will open the options. General, it's just very general things. Spells, this is probably one of the more important windows. It goes through what spells you have. You have up here you have the button that you're clicking, so the left mouse button, and then when you just click it, I have it set to Holy Light, so I start casting Holy Light. Then when I hold shift and click, I have it set to Flashlight, so as you see it clicks that. Then same thing with control click, does Divine Light, and then alt click does my beacon. And you can go through middle mouse button, I have cleanse, so I just click on that person's bar and it cleanses them. Right button, Light of Dawn, the cool little disco AoE thing. Shift click will be Holy Shock. Control click, Word of Glory once I have some holy power, which I do, so I'll use that. And I also have Word of Glory for alt. You can cast when released or cast when pressed. I prefer to cast when released, just because that way, if let's say someone else, you go to cast on this one person and then it turns out that this other person needs heals first, you can not let go of the button and hover over their bar and do that. I like to enable bars at all times, just because it's, I don't know, easier, I guess, I don't know. Smart cast, that is, it does certain things, like it removes debuffs. Alright, let's say we just finished some boss fight, and a few people had a debuff and there's a few people dead. Instead of going through the process of making sure you click the right spell, all you have to do is left click their bar and it will either cleanse them or resurrect them or give them buffs if it's whatever they need. Although paladins, since we now have raid-wide buffs, it doesn't really matter for that much. Skins is the part that you will probably spend the most time tweaking, just because it's very how you want it to go. I'll go ahead and get in a group. Let's see, these people need a tank, so I'll message them, say I have a 6k gear score, tank, invite. By the way, this is Windows, WoW Instant Messenger. It's a very nice add-on. Okay, so I'm in a raid. They are needing a tank. I decided to call myself a tank so I can get into this group. Okay, you see how more bars popped up. Each person in the raid has their own bar. Once the last person will join, that little empty spot will be filled. And to cast anything, all I have to do is hover over their name if they're in range, and it looks like just this rogue is in range, and myself. and it's very simple. All you have to do is hover over and click. So you just go click, 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 click. You can, okay, go back to the settings. Lock position, obviously you know what that does, it locks it so you can't drag it. I usually keep this active just because if I'm in the heat of battle and I'm sitting there clicking all these bars and I accidentally don't release and I'm sitting there dragging the bars all over the place, it can cause a wipe, so I usually lock the bars. Frame anchor, that is where the frame is, basically where you'll usually have a empty slot, because they do rows by column, so you might end up with a few empty slots. It's basically just wherever those slots are, and usually I have it so my bar is always on the bottom right corner, which is the opposite of where the anchor is. See where it says, oh wait, frame anchor, bar anchor is where your character should be, and then frame anchor is where the frame will be anchored, which is where that dark spot will be. You can have it close automatically when you're not in combat and stuff. I usually just keep it open. You can have it set so when people are over 100 yards away, it disables their bar and basically gets dimmer. I don't like that, just because I prefer to have all my bars bright all the time, just so I can see them. Use fluid bars. It's I'm not sure what that is. I'm pretty sure that's just aesthetics. Then we have refresh multiplier. That refreshes. That's how long it checks for range and everything. Background. That's just background color, and for some reason it's not letting me change it, so we won't mess with that. Healing. These are what is actually shown. You can put yourself in there. Yourself will already be in there, so it doesn't really matter if you keep it checked or not. Groups, raid. Let's say you're, I don't know. Just keep them both checked. Main tanks. That's good to keep because it will, if the raid leader has tanks set up, it will put them together, just so it's a little easier to find them. Same thing with your focus. I don't use focus. I find it an unneeded thing, so I usually I'll leave it checked, but I don't use it. Pets, if you want pets on your bars, you can use it. I don't, just because it, if you're in a pug or something, or if you don't know everyone, you'll start to heal someone's pet rather than an actual person, and another person could die just because you get a little confused. Vehicles, kind of pointless, seeing as most of the time you can't heal vehicles, if there even is vehicles. My target, once again, kind of pointless, seeing as you're not going to be healing your target. Main assist, also kind of pointless. Alert. Oh, that's for aggro. If you want to use aggro, I'll go over that in a little bit. I usually don't. Headers, if you want to show headers, I usually don't, just because it makes it a little sloppier. But sometimes it helps you, it separates in between group 2, group 1, puts your tanks. Want to say it puts healers in another group, maybe not. I'll see that, so probably not. And obviously that gives you all these little options to do that.